Jesus of Nazareth's passion and death shape us today. Jesus' life, passion, death, and resurrection was a service. Mark 10:45. He lives the life of service by breaking boundary to touch, to feel, counseling, and healing the people. Mark 2:1-12 and Luke 15. This service was not only an act of humanity, but Jesus associated himself with those sinners who were excluded by society at that time. He was liberating them. He aimed even further. He wanted to cure human slavery at its deep roots. The true liberation that Jesus wants to bring to man is the forgiveness of sins before God. The new community he established is a community with God. It was a salvific service, and from the very beginning, it generated hostility with the religious authorities. Mark 9:35. Anyone who wants to be first must be the last and serve for all. To serve is to love, even love enemies. In short, to live entirely for others. The new way of life that Jesus inaugurated and invites his disciples. If you want to live such a life, you must be willing to accept the consequences, have to give up everything. Clearly reflect Jesus' fundamental attitude to life, pro-existence, being as man for the other, unconditional obedience to God's will, even to the point of death. This evinces Jesus' fidelity to his message, which gives open God's future, gives God the final word, makes Jesus reserved in loving service to people, as a manifestation of God's benevolence towards them. We learn in lesson 11. Mark 8:35. For whoever wants to save their lives will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and the gospel will save it. Jesus' service attitude brought him to death. This death had the same meaning as his life. He who lives for others also will die, even for the enemy and sinners. Jesus washing the feet on Holy Thursday nights was not an act of purification, but an act of service. This gesture represents the founding of the community of disciples and of the community living in the love of Jesus. Mark 14:25. Truly I tell you, I will not drink again from the fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new in the kingdom of God. A sign that predicts the kingdom of heaven at this very moment when Jesus brings his disciples to participate in the happiness of the eschatological time. During the Last Supper, Jesus told not only of his impending death, but of the coming of the kingdom of heaven with it. The death of Jesus is directly related to the formation of the kingdom of God, the salvation of humankind. Mark 10:45. For the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give life as a ransom for many. Not only Jesus' death, but on his life have a bright Messiah. The reason he died for others was that he lived for others all his life. Death on the cross reveals the salvific intention of the whole life, especially that is become the symbols of all the work of salvation. The cross become hope for those in need. Pope Francis in 2015 visits the Philippines mentioned the historic Typhoon Hazan in 2013. He shared the pain of loss with the people of Philippines. He urged people to look up at the cross because Jesus never lets you down. Jesus' service life remind those the head must know how to serve and care for the weak. We live in the peaceful world because of Jesus' ministry of service. Countries have learned to connect and support each other to develop together instead of war and plunder. The obedience of Jesus reminds everyone to listen and submit to each other, creating a just and civilized society, the poor and the abandoned are respected and cared for. Jesus' suffering, dying, and can be salvific in our lives today. Jesus' service is continuity through the people who are his image, by the people who follow him. Jesus' service founded the church, gave birth to congregations of followers of the defenders of truth and for the truth. Mother Teresa once shared, "We must be grateful to God for giving us our poor brother and sister. It is they who allow us to gather together to work side by side." For Mother Teresa, the poor were not a burden, not some to be strong. On the contrary, they are our benefactors because we can exercise God's love through them. The poor also have a noble spirit and generosity. We can learn many rich spiritual lessons through contact with them. The kingdom of God had come and is among us. In lesson 8, we learn manhood is a person. Jesus is embodiment of God's reign. Lesson 11. In the breaking bread, Jesus shared with the sinners, the poor, that allowing us to participate too, as we are a sinner. So the mystery of the breaking of bread is proof that we are participating in the kingdom of God, participating in salvation. Ozang, 34-year-old mother who sacrificed herself to endure the pain of illness to protect her child in the womb. When she recognized she was pregnant, the doctor also informed her that she had lung cancer. She refused chemotherapy because to protect her baby. After she gave birth, it was too late for treatment. Last November 29, she passed away and left for her husband a letter. "Thank God for giving me life. I am so happy to have you, my husband. I find this life so beautiful, and I want my child to enjoy this happiness too. A beautiful and great sacrifice dying to give life. It was a sacrifice that Jesus himself spoke in John 17:13, and he did it through death on the cross." The image showing the continuity of Jesus' service is shown through those participating in the prevention of COVID. Many people are suffering to have those affected by natural disasters. They are also facing dangers. Mothers, fathers are running, trekking in the dew and sunbathing to take care of family meals and the lives of their children. The teachers who have overcome storm, floods, and deep forests bring knowledge to the poor and the children. I am sure they are all in the mood. "Father, if it is possible, take this cup away from me, just one as you please." Surely they must have felt the same loneliness and exhaustion as the Lord on the cross. My God, why have you forsaken me?" Jesus, the cross, is their hope. They find joy and peace in acts of service. They find comfort and joy in sharing the love of Christ. The resurrection of Jesus is not self-assertion but service. He comes to the poor, to his friends after resurrection. He repairs them with necessary things, have them have a meal after hard work hours. It's in John 21:9-13.